Hey guys, I'm Naya and welcome back to the channel. So YCS Utrecht 2022 just concluded about 10 minutes ago, so naturally we're just going to do a quick coverage of it. I managed to snatch 2 deck lists from when they were posted post the YCS, only 2, so we're gonna look at 2 since this is a very early report. But I have 2 deck lists for you and also a couple things that I noticed while watching the entire YCS for the past couple of days that I feel like are interesting and that I feel like decks are going to be looking like moving forward. So we're gonna go through all of that quickly. Before we get started, I just want to shout out my patrons: Dudley Reiner, Crimson, Consular, 10, Nude Banner, Jonah Rodriguez, Ariel Kersey, and Roy Air. I'm very much grateful for your guys' support, and if any of you want to support me on Patreon, you can always find the link in the description below. So 2,185 players registered for this YCS. So it was one of the bigger events in Europe in the last couple of years. And that's very, very cool. So that's the first good thing about it. And naturally, we also got the actual stream for the YCS, which is very nice to see, obviously. The next thing, it was really cool to me that in the Swiss rounds, a lot of interesting decks were featured. So we saw features from Crystal Beast, we saw Six Samurai, which actually managed to do an FTK in one of the games, and there were like just cool things being featured. The Kairu Shin control deck, which is like looking really interesting, so that was really nice. Like you were seeing people with, you know, X1 results after a couple of rounds with those very different rogue decks. And then also the commentator said that 82% of players actually either main decked or side decked Cosmic Cyclone, which is a really cool fact, and I think it's making a very big point about how Cosmic Cyclone is going to be great moving forward. It's applicable in so many different matchups across the board. You can even main deck it. And also, I think Joel and Lockbird is going to be a nice card moving forward, just because the Runic engine, as you are going to be able to see, is just becoming very, very popular. So Joel is going to be very nice against that, and also against other matchups if you decide to even main deck it. So that's the next thing I also noticed about this. Then also the sprite decks are actively adding things like Capsho, Epedia, and even Wind Up Kitten, which was even played in the winner's deck list. So those are a couple important additions to the sprite deck. They give you some kind of advantage when it comes to Epedia and Capsho, because in the Runic sprite you don't have a battle phase, so you're not able to steal off the games that way. So you need to draw into your resources to be able to control the game to the point where you can actually win via battle phase or just overwhelming your opponent. So those cards with their drawing effects, they get you further into your deck, which is really, really nice. Then the Wind Up Kitten also has a really, really cool effect. And then when it comes to the tier element deck, I also noticed that a lot of players mixed it with either Paleozoic, there was Skirclaw, there was Paleo, and there was also Runic tier element. And I haven't seen a single Lunalight tier element, at least on the stream, but still, like, you were seeing combo versions of it. But then on the other hand, there's Paleo and there's other things. So to me, it was interesting that there was no Lunalight, because I felt like it's a really strong engine going forward. And then also a lack of other decks when it comes to them not being tier element or sprite or Runic related. Like looking at the top cut, so this I guess is a cool segue to actually look at top cut. You see Runic sprite, tier element sprite, Live Twin sprite, so that's all of those versions. And then you see a couple Flunders and you see a couple Mathmech players. And everything else actually got sorted into the others category, so it means it wasn't even that heavily represented for it to have an actual slot on the pie chart. So that's saying a lot. So if you're not playing Flunder or Mathmech, at this point in time at least, because after Darkwing Blast, things are going to change a bit. But if you're not playing those 2 decks, you know, the actual representation of players in Top Cut with other strategies was very, very small. So looking at them, we had Rika, we had Branded Espia, just pure Branded Espia, Tri Brigade, but that was mixed with Sprite, so I guess that doesn't count. And there's also Sorso Tenyi and Exosister. So there were a couple of decks and none of them managed to win, although we did see, for example, an Exosister top 8 finish, and we're going to go through that list in a second. But then also moving on to the top 8 breakdown, we have Runic Sprite, Runic Tier Element, Live Twin Sprite, Tier Element, and Exosister. So again, only Exosister was among those decks that didn't actually feature any of the other engines. And Runic Sprite overall had an incredible conversion rate also. That's something to add like throughout the event. And then moving on to top 64 and also top 8, then just going through those two deck lists that I managed to acquire, the Exosister one seems very, very standard, but they did include the Zoroa Magistus. So looking at this card, basically it's a 1-card XYZ, since you can target a Magistus monster you control and equip it with a Magistus monster from your extra deck. And if this card becomes equipped, which you can equip itself, you're able to special summon a level 4 spellcaster monster from your hand or grave. So immediately you have an Xyz monster, and then you have their Xyz monster as well, which just adds additional things to the deck. So this is a small package that is seeing play here. Other than that, I guess the Carpe Diem is like an addition that's not seeing play in every single deck list, but I think it's very, very strong. And when it comes to other cards, like everything else is pretty much standard. There are Cherries targets though, and Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries in the side deck, since you have enough space in the extra deck to put the most important targets in, which of course would be Gigantic Sprite and also Kitkalas. And yeah, moving on to the other deck list, we actually have 57 cards. Scareclaw, Tearlament, Danger, Adventure. I think I'm not forgetting anything else. So all of these engines mashed up in this one deck. Basically, it utilizes Tearlament stuff, but since you are able to include the Dangers and Gizmek and just other things, you're able to go into Curious as well. So you manage to build those amazing big boards. So just a straight up Tearlament combo deck, and with Visa Starfrost and the Scareclaw stuff, you're able to go into the Scareclaw plays with just one card being Visa Starfrost. And we actually saw that on stream. I think it was in the last round of Swiss, where just one Visa Starfrost managed to give the player so much advantage, and just it was amazing actually, for just one card being able to go into the Scareclaw stuff to get to the field spell to just continue playing. And they decided to put in hand traps as well, specifically the Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. They said that it was there to prevent stuff like branded Despia, branded fusion targets, which then get special summoned with expulsion to your field and prevent you from playing. So you're able to negate those with the Mourner. So that was a very cool application actually. And then also I wanted to mention the Dark Hole in the side deck, which is just it's very cool and also quite useful. Like, I'm not sure how many people would actually decide to side deck it. And adventure stuff, which actually saw play together with the sprite stuff as well. So the adventure engine was somewhat present at the YCS as well. So those would be the deck lists. And also the winning deck list, a couple of things that I noticed. It was obviously Runic Sprite, but I think if I understood the commentaries correctly, they said that they were main decking Lava Golem and Sphere mode, if not main decking, at least side decking. So those two cards were additions to that deck. And also the Wind Up Kitten. If you maybe went to the YCS, feel free to let me know in the comments to like share a story of your experience or whatever. But yeah, I love doing these kinds of reports. So if a video like that interests you, and if you liked it, of course, like it, sub to the channel, check out all the social media, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.